The women.
Oh my gosh.
So we represent, as we stated earlier, different aspects of the women in hip hop, because they're not all MCs. They're not all hardcore hip hop fans. Rap Child said, I was saying music is about coming together and having a good time. But rap game has changed. It's not all bad. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But when I say the women, I am speaking about Lauren London. I was not expecting her post when it came. I honestly thought we weren't going to hear from her for probably weeks.
I thought she was going to be like in recluse, and even the words that she said, I couldn't imagine for myself, like I wouldn't be able to put anything into words to like capture the loss and the devastation. Like
She said, my protector, my sanctuary, my best friend, and on and on. And then at some point in the words, she said, I don't have the words. So it was like, you really felt like she was just typing off the cuff and still was just like, I'm still lost and I don't really know what to say right now. But I'm just wanted to say something because God only knows how many times the woman had been tagged, even in that short time. And it wasn't all malicious. It was overwhelmingly people who were really concerned.
Lifting her up in prayer and all that jazz. And that was great. But like, she hasn't even had time to like process it.
Right.
Like, that must be hell.
And then the pictures, the pictures that she posted with the two of them.
Yeah.
With their son Cross, with the whole family. It was just a lot. And I was just, it's like this. You just kind of have these ups and downs. We're speaking as people that don't know any of these folks personally. Yeah. And I've seen other of you say, like, I don't know, like every day I wake up sad about this. And it's weird because I didn't know him personally. Yeah. I've seen that sentiment time and time again. So at that point, it wasn't like I was like high, like everything was normal, but I feel like I had kind of plateaued. And when I read her post, I just went back
down again. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And I just, like you said, we're both very empathic and spiritual. And it's like, oh no, now I'm like putting myself in, but putting myself in her shoes.
Thrust into the feels.
Then I saw, and I never had seen her before. I never heard her name. Then I saw the post by his sister, Samantha. And that, I don't even think, I purposely haven't went back and read that one. Because when I read it, I start crying.
Yeah.
And to think about, that sibling relationship and her kind of also saying all the roles he played in her life and their life collectively as a family, and saying, I got Lauren, I got all these people, I got Sam, I got, that was tough, man.
Yeah. I've just been avoiding it altogether. Like, I just feel that weight, and I'm just like, And
then yesterday, was that yesterday? Mom?
Yeah.
I'll let you speak on that. I don't even know. I have no words.
Miss Hussle, Mama Hussle. I was right there with her. I loved how steadfast she was, how strong she was, and she said something that I have always said and felt about death. While I avoid it as much as I can, because, as you just said, very empathic, I don't go to funerals because I cannot take all of that.
Right.
I cannot, no thanks. But she said that this is how it's supposed to be, that this is all in divinity, that this is the plan, that this is all God's work, and that death is not to be feared. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. One thing that we get caught up on is our shit and the circumstances in this physical plane. We are always saying, oh, gone too soon, or if someone dies young, it's a waste.
Right.
No, we live out the lives we are supposed to live. And time and the universe don't give no fuck about your kids or whoever or however much money you got or whatever you think is worth keeping you here.
Mm-hmm.
We all go when we're supposed to go, and we all do what we're supposed to do in that time that we're allowed. And I loved her for coming out and saying that. She
came out and comforted us.
Mm-hmm.
This is the woman who carried him in her body, raised him.
If anyone feels the loss.
And she came and comforted us because she saw how much of an impact his life, I don't even want to say his death, is continuing to have on the rest of the world. And she said, oh my God, let me let me come out,
settle down now,
and comfort
this is just
them.
how it has to be. Like, she has a clear understanding of.
Oh, bless you. Live Forever 100 said Rap Child 100 sent me to check you guys out. Appreciate you, and Rap Child who had to go.
Thanks. But yeah, like I felt that, and I apprecited that.
You could see his face. I felt like, I mean, obviously we look like our parents.
Oh no,
but I was like,
that is Nipsey.
Wow.
He stole her face, 100%. He stole her face, splashed a little bit of male testosterone in there, and kept it pushing. That's what that was.
We still on the women. If you just started watching, this will be on YouTube later tonight. This is perspective you're not going to get from some other shows that wanted to be first to talk about this, and we didn't want to be first or last. We just wanted to make sure we covered this
because this is
in the right way.
Women talking hip hop.
Yeah, so we now I'm thinking about Grandma Hussle.
Oh my Lord.
She said, you know, she oh my goodness, so she gave an account of what happened that day and how his brother ran to his side and how she knew and she had peace with the fact that as this was happening, he knew that his brother was beside him as he took his last breath. But something else she said that a lot of people have been kind of going back to is she said she was praying and she felt sorry for the shooter. She said, you know, that was just some ignorant person caught up, but I do pray that he's able to right his life. She said she's a devout Catholic. I don't know why people were speculating about the religion of his family or him as if that was important, but she did say that. But, you know, she came out before Mom, or at least it was reported before Mom.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to me that she had the presence of mind and the spiritual awareness to say, you know, in spite of this person taking my grandson's life, I am praying for their salvation ultimately.
And that's where he comes from. I think that's amazing. Like, that's where he comes from. Very spiritually aware, very grounded, solid women.
Then I kind of want to swerve a little bit in my Malibu to some folks that aren't related to Nipsey that came out. Of course, there's lots that we could have chose from, but I wanted to, if you haven't checked this out, if you don't follow her, Malibu Mitch had a post, and she was reticent about sharing her experience, and she said she talked to her mom about it, and she was like, no, this is a real thing that happened to you. You should highlight it. You should talk about it. I'm just give y'all a really quick rundown. If you want to see the pictures and see what she wrote, go to Malibu Mitch's Instagram and see it for yourself. But basically she was saying she was a fan of Nipsey, had never met him, saw him at an Atlantic event, was still kind of shy about going up to him. She goes up to him, introduces herself. He already knew who she was, so that shocked her. And then some of his people, or some of the people around him, I'll say that, were kind of looking at her like, bitch, be gone type situation. And she's like, all right, whatever. And then later, some dude, I don't know who he was, like called her out of her name. The people she was with was like ready
as they should
to pounce. And then all of a sudden Nipsey is basically in the dude's face like, apologize. And she was shocked. She's like completely still like, what? Like, why is he defending me? And then the dude was like, you know, half-heartedly apologized. And he was like, well, apologize again, motherfucker. And she, in the course of events that night, she never got to go back to him in his face and thank him. But she always felt like she would get to at some point because of the Atlantic connection and that type of thing. And she didn't. And that's one of the reasons she was like, should I share this? Should I not?
Damn.
So this is you know, this woman is testifying, right? This is our own gospel that we got going on. As she just wanted to share that to let folks know that whatever stories you're hearing and you think that maybe people are exaggerating or it's hyped up, that this was the type of person that he was, and she experienced it firsthand. Like, he's not an
angel just because he's dead.
Right. Exactly. Rihanna. Her post was one of the first ones, I would say, from celebrities. And, you know, you tend to read things in people's voice. And so the way she wrote it and she had the exclamation, it's like I was reading it and I was hearing her say it. You know, she's like, I can't believe this. Like, make it make sense. What about his baby? And she posted the picture of him at the Grammys with his daughter, Imani, who I'm not sure the exact age. I want to say between 8 and 10, maybe. And I think a lot of folks who either knew of Nipsey or didn't know of him were surprised that Rihanna knew him and spoke out so quickly. And then about a day or two later, I think there was a statement and there was a picture, a childhood picture that Beyonce shared, which is like, you know, the mother of all Black celebrity. And then, of course, you know, what's also interesting, we talked about this, unfortunately, when we were talking about Kim Porter's death. When she shared the picture of Kim, who was just fucking gorgeous, people assumed, but they were like, wait, but they're not the same complexion, but they have similar, you know, from the childhood anyway, pictures. They thought it was a picture of B, and then people had to explain, no, this is Kim Porter. This is a different Black woman. Right. So what's beautiful about Beyonce's reach is when she does share, even though it's an unfortunate circumstance, those types of pictures, it then educates her large following, her large fan base about like who these people are, because Beyonce posted it, so I have to pay attention.
Of course.
But I do want to, you know, we talked about all the other family members, the women